Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today we're doing the What's Next on the undefeated and newly crowned WBA junior welterweight champion, Alberto Puello, as he captured the WBA title and that's his first world title also on Saturday, August 20th on the Showtime undercard when he edged out Batyr Ahkmedov by a very close 12-round split decision. It really was one of those fights that you could have went either way with it. Ahkmedov kept putting the pressure on, landing shots, but Puello was landing good counter punches as he was boxing and moving his feet. So they mixed it up nicely, fight of the year candidate, but Puello walks out with a very close 12-round split decision. And now the big question is, what's next for Puello? Well, that's pretty much locked up. Unless there's a big demand for the rematch before his next mandatory, he's got to fight Ishmael Barroso next for, the WBA title. The WBA, when they were trying to find their mandatory challenger for Josh Taylor, who was the undisputed champ at the time, they had all contenders submit their arguments to be the next in line. And the WBA decided on Puello and Ahkmedov, but said Barroso would get the winner. So Ishmael Barroso is lined up to fight Puello now. So basically, we're going to look at what could be after Puello what could be after Barroso if Puello defeats Barroso, and he'll be the favorite in that fight, especially since Puello defeated Ahkmedov by a close decision. Ahkmedov stopped Barroso a few years back. So, Puello will be the favorite going into that fight. Now, so what could be next after a mandatory fight with Ishmael Barroso? Let's run through and see. Is Josh Taylor, the #1 guy, the undefeated WBO champ, going to be there? No. Puello doesn't have a big enough name even after a win over Ahkmedov and Barroso. And he's also a PBC guy, so Taylor's not going to give that fight a second chance. Teofimo Lopez. I think Lopez, after his next fight, is going to be lined up likely to fight Josh Taylor. He's also with Top Rank. Would it make sense for him and Puello to try to make a fight when they're with warring, promotions and they're just on a different level name-wise? Next is Jose Ramirez. He's lined up to fight the winner of Zepeda and Prograis. So he's not going to be, wanting to fight Ishmael Barroso anytime soon. Then you got Jose Zepeda. Zepeda, a victory over Prograis gives him the WBC belt, and then he's got to fight Ramirez in a rematch. A loss, and he's still a top-ranked guy, and Puello's a PBC guy, so not going to happen. Then you got Regis Prograis. This one's interesting. I think Prograis is an option. Now, he's not a full-on PBC guy, but he has ties with the PBC, and he's fought on PBC cards. So I think if Prograis were to defeat Jose Zepeda, which I'm favoring Prograis to do that, even though I think the fight could go either way. If he beats Zepeda before the end of the year to capture the WBC belt, he's still got to fight Jose Ramirez next. So not likely that he's going to get, that he would fight Puello, but maybe down the road. But I don't think first half of the year next year, Prograis and Puello is going to happen. And that's likely when the fight would happen, first half to middle of the year next year. I don't see that one going down for those two. Maybe second half, though, but you never know. Then you got Jack Catterall. Win or lose, if he wins, he's a DAZN guy. Not likely that he's going to cross the street and fight a PBC guy like Puello in the first half of next year. If he beats Taylor or not. If he loses to Taylor, he's still a DAZN guy, so it's not going to matter. So I don't see Catterall being an option for Puello. Gary Antoine Russell, very, very interesting. I think Puello, while he's fighting, and it could be on an undercard, they could fight on the same card. I think Puello and Barroso could fight on a very similar card to Gary Antoine Russell next. And then the winners could be lined up to fight each other. Because say it's Russell versus Lip and Yates. The winner of that fight could fight the winner of Puello and Barroso for the title. So I absolutely believe that Gary Antoine Russell could be fighting Alberto Puello by the middle of next year for the WBA title. Very, very possible. We'll keep it rolling. Victor Postol. If a Russell fight is not in the cards for Puello after a supposed win over, a presumed win over Ishmael Barroso, I could see a guy like Postol getting a chance. But I really think there's too many younger, better options there, like Sergio Matias fighting for the vacant IBF belt. That fight could be there for Puello if they're not lining Gary Russell up for that shot. So, you know, I guess I could see Puello if, say, Russell goes after the winner of Matias and Ponce instead for the IBF title. I guess I could see Puello lining up against a former champ like Postol. But, yeah, I'm leaning towards the less likely, but I'm not going to completely rule it out. And then you got guys like Comey and Pedraza are not going to happen. They're both top-ranked guys. They're not going to make that fight go down between them. And then, you know, after them, you got a rematch with Batyr Ahkmedov. I don't know if Puello's going to want that fight, but I think Ahkmedov, the WBA might give him an opportunity to get back in line. But I do think it's a fight that should come down the road again, because Ahkmedov is a PBC guy and he fought his ass off, and I think he probably deserves a rematch, but I don't think it's going to be first in line for Puello. So Puello, now that he's a WBA champion, I really believe he's going to be in the mix for them at 140 to try to crown a new, or try to crown Gary Russell. I think he's going to be one of those stepping stones, quote unquote, to fight Russell. But he had a nice win. He's got an interesting style, southpaw. He's kind of that taller, awkward, can box and can punch a little bit kind of style. And I could really see him getting, you know, getting a big fight after Ishmael Barroso. You know, and I could see it being Gary Antoine Russell or a unification bout next against the winner of Ponce and Matias, who should be fighting before the end of the year as well for the vacant IBF belt. So a lot of options coming down the road for the newly crowned champ, Alberto Puello, following this victory over Batyr Ahkmedov to capture the vacant WBA title. But that's it. That's what I got. That's what's next on Alberto Puello, the newly crowned WBA junior welterweight champion at 140 pounds. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.